So again, just top of the newsfeed stuff. Let's get serious for a minute. So a lot of people are feeling the purgatory, seeing the loops, wondering why this is dragging out. We've been fluctuating between 13 and 20 axials and have not been able to breach this hurdle, the 21st. I said it before, it's a tough one of the most critical. People are getting the ever-living shit energetically siphoned out of them. Nanotech and the right frequency, they can draw as much off you as they would like. Let's not get into the fourth dimensional entities and the social media vortex, the energy vampires, all the other ways our energy is being stolen. But what it's coming down to is people are going to have to dig deep. Many hearts are dimming. And it's also not only because they are tired and worn out, overworked and taking beatings. It's all of the above. Death by 1,000 cuts. This is the time where we have to shine our brightest, dig the deepest, muster ourselves up. Because not only is time speeding up, because everyone's over this shit, but because the theys are being backed into a corner and their hands are being forced. So their depopulation protocols are being fast forwarded. I've also seen a lot of people buying into, feeding and giving attention to the political arenas. That indicates in my eyes someone who has taken the lazy route or the easy road and fell back asleep. Or they got roped back into the hopium parades. Can any of the staged and awful acting scripts we are watching play out be any more blatantly obvious? They are mocking our stupidity. They are so brazen in their disclosures because the majority of people are straight up dead ass asleep. Virtually every question and answer placed right in front of you. We must, for our own sake, stand up for ourselves, be proud of ourselves, stand la 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 la. Anyone can say they are broken free from the matrices or they are floating in 5D, but what are they doing to ensure we all get a ticket home? How many people out there genuinely help each other? Our tribe, probably more than most. Everywhere else, it's a scarcity. Isn't that why we all came here? No. I'm just making a comment that here it is on the top of my newsfeed again. Somebody shared this post, that's fine. Whoever's written it, that's fine. But we are telling ourselves stories and we are trying to explain things to ourselves and we are projecting our stories onto the outside world, and an awful lot of these stories are hero stories where they are the enemy and we need to rescue and we're all together and we came down here to Earth to do this and we know what's going on, and I'm just calling it out. And I think at the moment that is what's going on a lot, is a calling out. That's based for me around a story that Neptune's been reaching the end of Pisces, the end of the whole zodiac, and it's been conjunct a lunar eclipse just a day or two ago. And so building up to that lunar eclipse with Neptune, it's what's the truth and what's illusion. And now that we're past the other side, there's a tendency to be certain I have the truth and everyone else is in illusion. And yeah, just recognizing that. Okay. And recognizing that in myself, because what I'm also doing is saying, oh, look at this on my newsfeed, or listening to Tony Sayers' video the other day and going, what the heck, man? This guy is doing what he's accusing the New Age of doing, but he's just doing it from the point of view of thinking he's not New Age, when he's constantly, the whole way through, talking about entities and talking about dimensions and fourth dimension and fifth dimension and blah, 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 blah. And I'm recognizing fully that that's also what I'm doing, and this whole thing that we are doing is a curiosity to be trying to figure things out, trying to mentally create pictures and present them as if they're the truth, kind of thing. And I'm at least just questioning my own capacity for fooling myself that I think I know what I'm doing or what the truth is more than other people, and that's just the mind doing its comparison acts. And sometimes I think I'm great and sometimes I think I'm low, and that's the feelings of sometimes it's high and sometimes it's low, and that's the nature of this situation we're in, where there is a high and a low and a left and a right and an inner and an outer, and everything is dualized. And yeah, I'll just pause there anyway, but I thought I'd capture that moment rather than just thinking it in the spirit of just going along with this for the ride to see how it is if one does indeed post regularly instead of my thing of not posting for a whole month and thinking that maybe I should, but just not bothering. I'm giving it a go at maybe posting every day at the moment while the weather is nice and it's easy to do. And yeah, anyway, bye. Yeah, so I'm just recognizing in myself that it's the nature of the mind to judge. And to judge is to measure, to see distance, to compare this to that, to criticize, to compare my inner to my outer, to compare my today with yesterday, to compare my yesterday with tomorrow, to adapt, to think I know something today, and the wisdom to be able to look back and go, the way I'm looking at things today is so different to how I looked at things a year ago, or 10 years ago, or 15 years ago. And therefore we are in time, and there is a progression, there is a evolving, there is a gathering more information and comparing it all, and the mind can really drive us crazy kind of thing, because it's unceasing. There's no chemtrails in the sky today. Other days there are chemtrails in the sky. Then someone else, Ulrich for example, is going to pick up and be saying chemtrails, and he's going, they're not chemtrails, kind of thing. You're just pouring out fear porn. We're just using language. Maybe they're chemtrails, and maybe they're natural, and maybe planes are natural, and maybe everything we're doing here is natural. The criticism against the AI, the fear of the AI, the idea that AI is stealing jobs. The other side of it is AI is providing shitloads of jobs too. Here we are in social media, complaining about social media and how it's separating us, while at the same time here I am on social media actually connecting with people, at least attempting to connect with people. We can complain about how inauthentic people are with social media virtue signaling, and yet here I am attempting to be as authentic as possible. And so it's only by figuring out what we're not that we tend to see in the mirror what we are, or what we want to be, or would like to be, and we try and adapt our behaviours to become what we'd like to be. So the hypercritical analysis, the blame projection onto a they, the belief that they somehow are controlling all of us, and the question as to who are they, my own recognition that I actually control myself far more than I'd like to, and it's quite a tricky thing to allow oneself to be free, indeed to let oneself be completely free and just say anything and all sorts and behave in whatever way you like. Actually can be quite hurtful for people. Criticism that people are too sensitive these days. I mean, basically it's a cacophony in the world, and I'm just recognizing that in myself, and recognizing that I'm seeing that in the outside world, seeing that on my use of social media. Really, it's all self-criticism projected outwards and mirrored back, kind of thing. So, I disliked the idea of online community as if it was unreal. I did dislike, the kids are just watching all sorts of nonsense on the social media, on their YouTube shorts and all that kind of stuff. And yet, after a year or two, realizing, wow, the kids are actually just witnessing all kinds of stuff that's out there and watching all kinds of stuff that's not very factual and believing things just because someone else says it, and just recognizing this is what the nature of the mind is. Yeah, those who believe in a Bible, those who disbelieve in a Bible. I'm part of this group, not part of that group. And the thing is, it's mid-September and the weather is absolutely amazing and life is absolutely amazing, and how we view life changes from day to day. Very sensitively looking into all of this new age stuff, looking into all the history stuff, looking into my judgments of whether the world is improving or whether the world is getting worse, and just realizing the world is an illusion kind of thing, and that truth is something that we don't actually perceive, and yet we can fool ourselves to think that just because I'm thinking this, that means it's the truth because I believe it, and to conflict with other people because they seem to believe something that differs from what I believe. This is what we call egocentric, or this is what we call self-confidence kind of thing. Yeah. So look at my dog, and he's just happy as can be. He's running around in the field there. He's not weighed down with this mental judgment. He's not trying to figure everything out. He's purely instinctual. And look at the cats, they're so contented, and yet they have little squabbles with each other. They kill mice, they kill birds. They don't even eat the mice, they just play with the dead body and throw it around the place and then get bored with it and leave it sitting in the kitchen or whatever. It's just recognizing this mentalness, and then on top of all that obviousness, but to me the idea is that the AI and everything that we're creating is mirroring whatever is going on in our inner world, and that the AI is actually doing what we do. We're actually artificially replicating nature and adapting it and making crazy things out of nature that aren't what we'd call natural. But the fear of the inorganic, the wish to be organic, the curiosity I have with the channeling stuff is that it's, just where are these ideas coming from? And the curiosity I have about the them projecting onto an elite, and that the elite are controlling everybody. Yeah, as far as I can see, it's actually a mental system that is evolving towards some sort of a predestined conclusion. And the curiosity is, what is that conclusion then? So there's the idea of some sort of great awakening. There's the experience personally of having had awakenings. There's the realization that we wake up every day, and that having a spiritual awakening or a conscious awakening is an analogy for lucid dreaming, and that we are all characterizing ourselves and each other in a role-playing game construct that you can call a matrix, and you can think of as it's just controlling, and they are sucking our life energy out of us. But ultimately the responsibility is on each one of us to find in ourselves ways of being creative and adapting, not just copium, not just hopium, not just opium, not just drugs, again a Neptune reference, not just taking external drugs on the inside and having it catalyze changes, but learning, learning, earning a living, earning a living, learning to love, not just assuming that love is a given, recognizing where love is lacking rather than complaining about the lack, actually producing a whole from the whole, again, to play with the W on that. Yeah, the mirror world, the internet as a mirror. The mirror of the internet is allowing individuals to communicate with other individuals who do actually have a lot of things in common and share ideas and share feelings and share interests, which otherwise before the internet we were just stuck with books and films and having to relate merely with the people who happen to live around us and with our family. And so it's allowing us to see different facets of ourselves in people who may be far away that we never actually physically met, rather than trying to fit in with the people you happen to live around, kind of thing. The COVID lockdowns can be seen as a really bad thing, can be seen as a really good thing. Anything can be seen as really good or really bad. And even whether it's a good or a bad thing changes in my own perspective from this moment to that moment as I go from looking from this angle to that angle to see it from other people's points of view, kind of thing. So humiliation and humility, integration, integrate, to be able to integrate the things which otherwise one pushes outside of oneself. Compassion for others and their situation, to realize that what we see is not really real, that the real world in real life is actually a perception, and round and round and round in circles and spirals. But does the circular motion come from long ago into the future, that time is actually accelerating and the spiral is reaching towards the point, and all of these things are reaching some sort of a nexus, and my own comprehension that the nexus point is a 0 point kind of thing. At the end of time there is a moment, and in that moment is yet to be discovered. The curiosity with drugs and medicines and meditation and spiritual experiences, and people who've gone outside of their limited mind for some time and experienced what it's like to not be in time frames, and that experience of being in bliss will eventually occur with everyone, but in our own time. So some people are having that bliss right now, other people are suffering right now, some people are sticking to the material plane, some people are surrendering to soul and the spiritual plane. Some people have firm beliefs about what God is and what God isn't, about what spirit is and what spirit isn't, about soul and whether we have such a thing as soul or whether that's a construct, whether we have chakras and those chakras are natural things in our bioorganism energy body, or like Tony Sayers and other people say, that chakras are actually devices that have been put into us by the them, whoever they are, and that they're just there to suck our energy, type of thing. And I question again, who are the they who are sucking our energy and have created a horrible place where everything is suffering, like Buddhism says? Just recognizing it's just a massive mental field, and feeling field, and physical field, and spiritual field, and grass field. I was thinking about the egregores are like cows eating grass kind of concept. So, are cows actually evil creatures because they eat grass? tigers evil beings because they eat other animals. The use of the word evil. What actually is evil? Is it evil that insects exist? Mosquitoes exist? Free will. Free will depends on if you actually have a choice in what you're thinking, or if your thinking is so automated. My thinking is so automated. So there's a massive amount of questions, and I'll try and just share the links of the video stuff that I actually listen to, because it is mostly oral how I take in information. I'm not so much of a one for reading massive amounts or reading books, but yeah, I'm just in the mode of actually just sharing whatever it is I'm looking into, instead of the other belief of, oh, I'm not going to share anything until I've perfected my total knowledge, until I know the truth. Have the humility to recognize that I don't know the whole truth, but have the humility also to share the imperfect guesses, to share the incomplete theories, kind of stuff. Yeah, that's my theme at the minute, is to freely share rather than try to be perfected. And yeah. Bye for now.